A reading from Acts chapter 18, verses 9 to 18. One night the Lord spoke to Paul in a vision. Do not be afraid, keep on speaking, do not be silent, for I am with you. No one is going to attack and harm you, because I have many people in this city. So Paul stayed in Corinth for 1.5 years, teaching them the word of God. While Gallio was proconsul of Achaia, the Jews of Corinth made a united attack on Paul, brought him to the place of judgment. This man, they charged, is persuading the people to worship God in ways contrary to the law. Just as Paul was about to speak, Gallio said to them, if you Jews were making a complaint about some misdemeanor or serious crime, it would be reasonable for me to listen to you. But since it involves questions about words and names and your own law, settle the matter yourselves. I will not be a judge of such things. So he drove them off. Then the crowd there turned on Sosthenes, the synagogue leader, and beat him in front of the proconsul. And Gallio showed no concern whatsoever. Paul stayed on in Corinth for some time. Then he left the brothers and sisters and sailed for Syria, accompanied by Priscilla and Aquila. Before he sailed, he had his hair cut off at Cenchreae because of a vow he had taken. I have to say, I find the opening verses here two of the most wonderful verses in the Bible. One night the Lord spoke to Paul in a vision, do not be afraid, keep on speaking, do not be silent, for I am with you, and no one is going to attack and harm you, because I have many people in the city. I don't know about you, but I often have this picture of Paul as being as tough as nails, that nothing is going to get him down, nothing is going to stop him. But this seems to imply that's not the case. That even Paul needed encouragement. And what does God say to Paul? He says, don't be afraid. Keep on speaking. Don't be silent. Why? Well, because I am with you. No one will harm you. I have many people in the city. You see, the message we have is too important. And the consequences of not sharing that message are so great. We mustn't be silent. But it can be hard. Think of Paul. He's been flogged, he's been stoned, he's been imprisoned, he's been chased out of umpteen towns we've read. And for us, it can be hard as well, week in, week out. We work hard. We talk to people, our family, our friends, our neighbours, about Jesus. If you're in ministry, you preach faithfully every week and don't seem to get anywhere. It can be hard. There can be the temptation to give up. But no, says God, I am with you. You know, as we saw a couple of days ago, we have an amazing God. He's a God who knows us intimately. Luke chapter 12, verse 7. He knows our circumstances and they don't surprise God. No one will harm you, God says. And we've said over the past few weeks, haven't we, that God is sovereign. He is in control. You know, ultimately, he bought you at the price of his son. Do you think he's going to give you up that easily? And then he says, I have many people in this city. Wow. That is so special. It reminds us God goes ahead of us. The trials, the persecutions, the difficulties we're going to face, well, they never catch God out. And he's put people and allies where we need them. And isn't that wonderful? That no matter how bleak things may seem, God has put people there to support us. And of course, there's an opposite side to that, isn't there? Are we there to support fellow Christians? And that also means that we can be called to stand and support our brothers and sisters, particularly when they're going through a hard time in their ministry. And that can be the rub, can't it? Because quite often, we're honest, in our hearts, we're envious of others. We're jealous of others. We put each other down. We backbite. We gossip. And so we're of no use. Or perhaps sometimes we're too scared for our own skin to stand up and support our brothers and sisters. But maybe that's why God has placed us where we are at a particular time and a particular place to support. So today, just two simple messages. Even though it's difficult, don't be afraid. Keep on speaking. Don't be silent. And are we supporting our brothers and sisters in their ministry and their witness? I have many people in the city. It could just be that you are one of those people.